Hi, Kirsty. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Christian?
I'm really good, thank you.
Good.
It's a gorgeous evening here in Scotland and
Yeah,
outside of Edinburgh. So
pretty lucky here. I think it's been 22 degrees here, which is pretty rare.
yeah, it doesn't get that hot in the summertime, so I don't know what it's doing in May for that kind of temperature. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty awesome.
Uh, We've got
Is
some.
it,
We've got someone joined from Colombia, someone from Glasgow, which is slightly closer to home. So yeah,
yeah,
it's we're traveling far and wide.
definitely. That's really cool. We've got such a beautifully global community at Uni, our customers, of course, but also our team at Uni who work with us. We have 15 different nationalities
I
at the
think we do.
moment.
In
I
fact,
think
maybe
we are,
even
yeah.
more.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's just in our office here outside of in Scotland. And then of course our US office and Bonn office as well. There's
We've
plenty.
got
There's
someone from Naples, Edinburgh, Portobello,
yeah, Portobello.
Niagara.
That was my mother-in-law joining in
Oh,
from.
that's beautiful. Yeah.
So you need to keep this clean, okay?
Yeah. Oh,
That's
someone
cool.
has made the Detroit style in their Uni Coda 16 delicious. I've not had any dinner yet, so that's going to
Oh.
make me feel very hungry.
Sorry, I'm gonna be cooking a couple of pizzas here, so that's gonna be star. You're gonna be very hungry
Yeah,
after this. Maybe
definitely.
I don't know, get a courier to get them over to you. So
So tonight we're kind of gonna open it up to the community and say, ask Christian anything you like. So we've got a
yeah,
couple of questions in here at the moment. One that I would actually quite like to kick off with because I think it's quite a positive one.
yeah.
Um, so what's the most positive thing to come out of the current situation for Uni?
Most positive thing. It's. I think it's. Well, hearing our kind of our core message has always been around making restaurant great pizzas and food in your back garden. Uh, and that message just been amplified by I don't know 10x 1000x kind of over the last couple of months where people are actually rediscovering making food at home. I've certainly discovered that myself. There was a video a couple week ago we put out on our YouTube channel with our sons Oscar and Otto making pizza, and I mean they've grown up with Uni basically their whole life. Otto, who's the younger one, he's 6.5. He was born uh, 2 months after Uni, the original Uni shipped, and I've still hadn't properly taught them how to make proper pizza. So I think this time has really brought us together in actually doing these kind of things that we've always planned on making and doing together. So it's got us together in that way. So I think that's probably it. I think I'm hearing a lot of people rediscovering cooking and not just making pizzas, but actually just cooking at home and making their own food from scratch. I think it's starting to get too far the other way. So I think that's probably it.
Perfect. Another one. What's your favorite pizza?
Question I get asked the most definitely. And the answer is always the same. It's the Napoletana. So you've got anchovies, capers, and maybe some black olives on top, and that's about it. Maybe a couple of basil leaves thrown on before cooking. So that's definitely it. I'm gonna actually, you know what? I might rustle up some anchovies if I can manage. But I've got a couple of dough balls here, and I'm gonna make at least a marinara and a margarita
Perfect.
just now.
Do you wanna kind of go for making the pizza, and I can ask a few more questions as we go?
Yeah, go for it. I'm just checking. I'm here with my karu, and you see so I'm just topping. I'm running it with charcoal today, so just using these tongs to get a couple of bits of charcoal. I loaded this up about 15 minutes ago, so it really doesn't need to be loaded too often, and this gives it gives it plenty of heat now.
Perfect. A controversial question, but does pineapple belong in pizza?
It is controversial. Geez, that's I mean, it divides people, but I mean, I'm from the camp that yes, it does. I mean, it doesn't belong on every pizza. I don't know. Oh, Pineapple Blues Pizza says yes. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things you can do with pizza. Pizza is a platform. It's a beginning, and it can do so many different things. If you don't like pineapple on pizza, don't have pineapple on pizza. I have it maybe 2-3 times a year. That's it. I think it's a great topping with good bit of nice quality ham. I sometimes do my pineapple kind of heat it up a little bit and flambéed with rum. That's pretty awesome. So yeah. Right, I'm gonna shift the camera a little bit. Is that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Good enough angle there.
Wonderful.
I'm gonna get cooking. This is better view than looking at my face all the time.
Someone's asked about the best way to clean the stone. Now, Mozzafella, one of our friends out there, he's advised the right advice, and it's just a case of flip the stone during your next cook, and that will kind of automatically clean it.
Yep.
Another question is about Unifira, our newest release, and
yep.
Will it ever come with a gas attachment?
Short answer is no. Fira, we really worked hard to optimize it for extremely good pellet performance. So Fira gets up to 500 Celsius, almost 1000 degrees Fahrenheit, really super well with pellets. And we've actually made it so much easier to use than Ooni 3. You can just load it up like I've done many times now. Just load it up, light it, load up the hopper with pellets, and get it going. And you've got enough firepower there, enough fuel there to cook at least 4 or 5 pizzas. So you don't actually need to worry about topping up the pellets too often there. So, but we've because of this kind of optimizing it for working with pellets really, really super well, we had to make some compromises, and one of those was that it doesn't support gas attachments. Now, if you want the multi-fuel options, multi-fuel experience, you can then go to Ooni Karu or Ooni Pro, which can out of the box run on charcoal like I'm running it now, or regular wood, or you can go and get the gas attachment for it.
Perfect. So your dough there, is that a 24-hour cold proof or?
This is made yesterday. This is a Caputo flour, the blue Caputo type 00 flour, and just overnight, actually in the warm proof overnight, and it's good to go.
Perfect.
So let's see where we're at.
Controversial question from
All right.
But another controversial question, not about pineapple this time.
All right.
Is Ooni Pro set for an upgrade?
Ooh, I mean, I love Ooni Pro. It's one of those products that actually there was kind of pivotal points for us launching that. Of course, I mean it's you can see that it still looks a little bit different to the rest of the lineup. We've been working hard releasing. We launched Coda, which is our gas powered one last year. Now Coda 16 this year, and Fira this year, Karu last year. So it does kind of stand out a little bit, but it's still an awesome oven. I use it at least once a week myself, and so yeah, it's there's nothing imminent around Pro at the moment.
Perfect. Someone's asked about hydration levels. So what hydration level is the dough that you have there?
This is 62, I believe. Yeah, 62% hydration.
Perfect.
I think for if you're just getting into pizza, sort of 60 is a good place to start with. So hydration with a pizza means with pizza and baking in general means um, how much water is there to compared to flour. So if you've got 1 kilo of flour, 60% hydration means that you've got 600 grams of water in it. Now this dough here is 62%, so that means 620 grams of water.
Perfect. Okay. Another question about the flour type that you've used. You've used kind of double O. Now, why specifically do you use double O?
Double O, it's a fine milling. Can you see that well?
Yep, perfect.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So there we go. There's our pizza going in. I'm gonna close the door. Got it running nicely with just charcoal. So I'm gonna attempt not to burn it too badly, at least. Let's see if I can keep it there. There we go. So what do we got? I think somebody might be fast to fact checking this, but it's double O flour is usually around 13% protein. Oh, get it bubbling up. Oh, I'm gonna get this guy out and spin it on the peel. Now this is where you got to remember with uni is that it does cook really fast, so you can't take your eye off things too long. Is what I always do with live chats is I get a bit excited, and here we are.
Yeah, I remember the first time I cooked pizza for my mum and dad in my Uni 3, and they kind of went back into the house, and I called them out and said, "Your pizza's ready." And they said, "What?"
Hey, come and
"Yeah,
check it out.
60 seconds, come on."
Oh, sorry, I should have turned the camera around a little bit. So
Nice.
So here we go.
First there.
This is. I think I panicked a little bit. I could have left it in a little bit longer there, but I think that'll get eaten. No problem.
Lovely.
Leave that there. So yeah, type 00 flour. So you've got about 13% high protein in it, and it's a really fine milling. So it's what makes for really good pizza. You get a really good stretch. The gluten structure kind of forms really nicely with it. So it's a good one. It's an easier flour to work with than just your regular plain flour, for example.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. I know that flour is in short supply, and a couple of weeks ago I made dough with plain flour, and you know what? It was okay, but it just wasn't the same.
It's not the same, but you know what? We kind of sometimes get a little bit obsessed about the exact right thing, and you know what? You can get quite far with just plain flour or just bread flour or these, especially if you know what you're doing there. So.
Yeah, for sure. Another question. How long does Karu take to cool down?
Cool down. I should know this. We have got a recommendation of how long to leave it for. I would leave it for about an hour after all the embers are gone. So it depends on what you're firing it with. I'm running it with charcoal there. I would estimate that if I leave it, stack it full, get it hot, and then leave it, it'll probably be about 40 minutes until all the embers are gone, 50 minutes. And then I would leave it for an hour just to be safe. So if you're moving it to a garage or bringing it inside for storage, you don't have any danger of having any embers there causing any havoc. They're made out of stainless steel, so you can leave it outside as well. Mine live outside all day, all the time. So.
Perfect. Have you ever made some bread in Karu?
Bread. I've actually, you know what? I've not made like puffy bigger breads, I mean, of course you're limited with the height of the oven, but it's very easy. Like I do garlic breads and these kind of things all the time, and I've got leftover dough, so that kind of things are. But there's a ton of stuff on the community. People are making bread with Unis. There's bread with um, even Coda 16s and all these. So yeah, you just have to manage the temperatures. Of course, bigger bread like this, you've got a lot more volume to it and air, and that air is an insulator, which means that it doesn't cook all the way through as quickly as a pizza does, which is very flat. So you got to drop the temperatures down a little bit. So often I would start with a higher temperature, put it in, and drop the temperature at that point.
Perfect.
There's a ton of content on our YouTube channel. Again, I would go over there and have a look. Artisan Brian's been doing some really cool videos for us for that.
Wonderful. Okay, so this might be a tough question for you.
Right.
But if you could only use one Uni pizza oven, which one would it be?
I love them all. It is really tricky. I love them all. But I don't know, if I had to be on if I had to choose, I would.
Desert Island Uni.
Desert Island Uni. Well, Desert Island, considering I'm probably not going to get to top up my propane tank very quickly, I would go with Uni Pro and with a propane attachment and a gas tank, and then at least if I'm there for a longer time, I can chop up some coconut trees and burn them for fuel.
Nice, perfect. Okay, a rotating stone. It's a question that's come up a few times this evening. Are there any plans?
No plans. I mean, we've looked at them, and we have a good team, and we test out these things and how would this look like in an actual product. And we've so far decided that it is a little bit gimmicky in its function, because turning the pizza isn't actually that hard when you do it a couple of times. I might have fumbled there a little bit while trying to talk and hold the phone and do all this stuff, but actually it is so easy and so fast to do that it's not something that we're looking into just now.
Perfect. So another question: why are there so many Uni pizza ovens?
Why are there so many different types of pizza ovens that we make? Well, there's a pizza oven for every use. I mean, every need and so I mean, they're quite nicely differentiated. When you look at the lineup, it might be overwhelming that, okay, we've got 5 different ovens at the moment, but there's an oven for every budget and every need, really. So somebody might love their natural fuels, like using charcoal or regular wood. You've got Karu and Pro there, but you've also got the option of adding gas. Somebody might just be, you know what, all I want to do is just switch it on and get going. And then you've got the Coda line for that. So Coda in 12-inch and 16-inch size. And then you've got Fire for that really simple, loaded up with pellets, light it up, and it's at 500 degrees, almost 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit in like 15 minutes. So I know it might make it a little bit like, gotta make a decision here, but there isn't one oven that we want to make. We don't want to make the decision for you. We want to create the tools for you to make the pizzas and support the way of working that you want to do. We have got, actually, there's on the product pages and on the website, we now have a product comparison chart. So you click on that, it pops open, and you can select a few ovens, and then you get this list of things that you can do. You can compare those ovens and what different things do they do. So it makes it very, very easy for you. Perfect.
Okay. Cool. We've had a couple of people ask about getting their ovens up to temperature. What kind of I guess troubleshooting tips would you recommend for gas or wood or pellets?
So if you're running with the wood-fired ones, one common mistake is that you don't close the door properly. So the wood-fired ones rely on convection to pull air in through the back and up the chimney. So like we have here, we've got the door on, we've got air going in through the back, and you've got chimney there drawing. So you've got to make sure that those are in the right place. Then just look for if you might have done anything obvious that might be done just a little bit wrong. Like we had somebody I heard this week was saying that I can't get this above 250 degrees Celsius, 400 Fahrenheit. And it turned out that he'd have the grate at the back of the Karu wrong way around, so it wasn't drawing air properly. So there's these kind of things. We don't really get that many actual faults in the products. We have an extremely low returns number. I mean, I'll brag a little bit, but it's lower than for the iPhone. So they do really work, these products. We have got a 60-day, 100% pizza satisfaction guarantee. So if you're worried about it, we will make sure the support team, who are at the moment working extremely hard, responding to this massive influx of people asking, how can I get a pizza oven for myself, Ooni pizza oven for myself? They will help you and get you going. They're known to, they'll make sure that you're happy with the product. Because we stand by them. We use these products all the time ourselves, and we know these things work. So there is a way.
For sure. A personal question for me: if you could give one famous person an Ooni pizza oven and a masterclass, who would it be and why?
Ooh. Right. Really tricky one. Oh gosh. Uni masterclass. You know what? I'm a big fan of Tom Waits. I would love to go and hang around with him. I don't know where he lives. Does he live in California somewhere? Maybe. That'd be pretty awesome. Is to go and show Tom Waits how to make pizza. He could maybe play a couple of songs and we could drink whiskey for the night. I think that'd be freaking awesome. Yeah.
Ideal. Wonderful.
Yeah.
What kind of pizza are you going to make now?
So we have got I need to cover up my rest of my dough so it doesn't crust up. So we have got a margarita here. It's going in.
Nice.
Let's see if I can. I actually had it sitting here for a bit, so let's make sure that she's still moving. Get a little tiny bit of olive oil on top. Here we go, and a few more leaves. Here.
Another one. If you made a breakfast pizza, what would you put on it?
Breakfast pizza. Well, let's see. Well, it's gotta have an egg. I love eggs. I eat like I don't know, probably half a dozen. Well, I do half a dozen eggs every couple of days, easily by myself. So it would definitely have an egg. I would go with bacon, maybe no tomato sauce. Maybe just like a little bit of cheese and olive oil and that sort of a base kind of thing going on there. Yeah, keep it simple. Maybe throw on some avocado afterwards.
Nice.
Once it's
perfect. What kind of wood would you recommend using in any pro or any Karu?
Go for hardwoods. So I'm using using charcoal, which is a birch charcoal. But I would go with oak. Is probably the best wood to go for. But yeah, any hardwood. Softwoods have. I didn't quite have this guy running as hot just now. Let's. Here's a trick. Actually, I'll show. I've got some. oak here. So if you're waiting for, so I'm kind of waiting for my coal to catch fire properly here. So I'm gonna throw on a little bit of oak on top there. And now if we wait a little bit, we're gonna get a nice flame on the go in just 1 sec. I'll leave this guy here. Sorry about the shakiness.
Okay.
So yeah, hardwoods are the best. They're easy to work with. They're relatively pretty easy to come by. Split them up. I would go smaller rather than bigger. Add more often than less often. So smaller bits more often. It's usually the best way to go. It's catching fire there. This is gonna be awesome. So I have it running a little bit. So what's cool with especially with Karu and Pro is that you can get the temperature up or down. So now I had a little bit less coal there, and before and added a bit more coal just before the pizza went in, so it wasn't quite as hot. So we've got this nice, lovely longer bake coming through from it. So have a look at this.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. And that sort of bake, when you have it a little bit, give it a little bit more time. What it does is with this kind of hydration, it leaves the center of the pizza here on the inside in cornicione, which is the edge part here, leaves it nice and moist and fluffy on the inside. But then you've got this quite a nice sort of crispiness to the. Can you hear? Oh, let me put this in the ear, so you can hear the crackling there. Sorry to put my ear against the camera.
All right.
Yeah, here we go.
Jen in Edinburgh, who actually I used to work with, and as a new street owner, she's asking about the dough when it becomes too sticky. What can you do to prevent that from happening?
All right. So dough, if it's too sticky, there's a couple of things there. So you might have it might be just too high hydration. So you might have just a little bit too much water. So you can, in the point of making the dough, you can just add a little bit more flour into it as you're making it, and it becomes less sticky that way. Now the other thing could be that the flour hasn't properly absorbed the water in yet. So it's too fresh. So if you leave it for a little bit longer, it starts absorbing that water into the flour properly, and it becomes less sticky. Then third, excuse me, is it's just kneading it properly. So that kneading action, again, you're giving it more time, and the water is absorbed into the dough properly. It's starting to work with the flour to create those glutens in there. So those would be my three first tips there.
Perfect. Okay. How is your pizza looking?
All right. It's looking pretty good. Should we give it a try?
Yeah, I think you should. Unfortunately, someone said that it's not Neapolitan pizza. They said it's baked for too long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Neapolitan style pizza, you should not be baking it for more than. Is it 120 seconds? Is the absolute maximum you should bake it for?
Yeah, that's the maximum.
Yeah. So no, it becomes a thin crust, I guess, at that point if it's there for longer. However, I mean, this is just showing the versatility that we did our first pizza there in about 60 seconds or so, or 80 seconds. And we can do a little bit longer bake. I personally like all types of pizzas. I made Detroit style the other day on, which day was it? Over the weekend, I think it was. There's a picture on my Instagram of that, and that's a lot longer bake as well. So just showing the kind of versatility of the ovens, what you can do with them.
Yeah. So someone's asked about a New York style pizza. How would you go about kind of making a New York style pizza?
Mm-hmm. So New York style pizza. A couple of tips around that. So use bread flour instead of type 00. You got a little bit more, I think it's a slightly more higher hydration. Higher higher protein in that, so you get more stretch out of the dough. I would also start, if you're doing it for the first time, start with a little bit lower hydration again, which helps kind of get that style. Neapolitan style pizza often is closer to like 65%, so I would drop it maybe even just below 60 for hydration. And also now, very importantly, when you're baking it, you need to be baking it for like 4 or 5 minutes at least. So in here now with karu, I would probably aim for about 4 or 5 minute bake. There's on YouTube, if you look up Kenji Lopez Alts, he's doing these point of view videos. Just now he did a magnificent looking New York style pizza with Coda 16. I think just last week. Last week. It's a really nice video to watch. He does it from start to finish. He does the dough and shows how it's done. So I would check that out. But yeah, that's it. Longer bake, low hydration on the dough, a bit higher protein on the flour, and off you go.
Wonderful.
Cool.
Someone's asked about my favorite pizza. I lived in Naples for 18 months, so I probably should say a margherita or a marinara, but I really love a capricciosa. But someone else said, favorite pizzas, whatever pizza's in front of me, so I can't argue with that, really.
Absolutely, yeah. No arguments there.
Yeah. Someone's asking if you can share the name again for the New York style. Is it Kenji Lopez Alt?
Yeah. If you go on YouTube and just search for Kenji POV for point of view, you'll find Kenji's video. He just posted that. I think it was on the 12th of May, just like a week ago or so.
Cool.
I've got a drink actually to be able to talk.
Why not? So where's the kind of most unusual place you've cooked pizza using Ooni?
All right, so there's 2 videos of me cooking pizza in a hole in the ice. So that's probably the weirdest place. I doubt there's very many people who've done that themselves. Now, the last video I did over Christmas, it was I kind of half did it. I was in the hole in the ice, pull the pizza out of the oven. So if you can consider that baking a pizza, that's probably the strangest place. But we do when we do get to travel and stuff, we do take our ovens with us on like little weekend trips and stuff. So beaches, and I think we've got a plan on going on top of a Munro. Munros are mountains in Scotland that are higher than 3,000 feet tall. There's about 250 of them, and I think we've got a plan on going on top of a Munro and carrying a karu up there and cooking pizza there. So that'll be pretty cool.
Perfect. Someone's asking where Ooni was first developed.
Where? We were based in London. My wife and I, when we started Ooni, we lived in southeast London, in Crofton Park, more specifically, if anybody's from that neck of the woods, Brockley, part of between sort of Lewisham and East Dulwich there. So that's where we were for the first few years. We moved up to Scotland, where my wife Dorina is from, in 2015, and we've been here ever since. Yeah, it was great early days. I was going through some photos from the olden days just recently. It's quite cool seeing it where it all began.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know where the Crofton Park meeting room gets its name from.
Yes. That's it. That's why it's called Crofton Park. We have so at the office we have 3 main meetings. Actually, no, there's now 5 different meeting rooms, but 3 of the original meeting rooms were called one Crofton Park, where we were started, and one called Portobello, where Dorina is from, and then one called Akaslompolo, which is a bit of a curveball for anybody new joining in. It's a place in Lapland in Finland. Really nice place. So that's how the meeting rooms are named. One is called greenhouse just because it's basically a greenhouse, and then one is called sauna, which turns out to be the warmest of all of the meeting rooms.
Really
I don't know
is.
how that is. It's funny, like it's just the heating there just gets too hot all the time. So
Yeah.
one day
A
we'll be
couple
back.
of questions about your background before Uni. What
Yep.
did you do?
So bit of a lot of different stuff. So let's start. I grew up in a family business. My parents ran a supermarket that my great grandmother started back in the early 20th century, or first half of 20th century. So I grew up in a supermarket. I worked there when I was a teenager, up until I moved to the UK to study photography in 2002. Graduated, worked at the uni for my final year and a year after that, and then Drin and I started another business, which was an education events consultancy, I guess. We organized education events, and that was running, and that's still running in the background. Though our friend and colleague down south in London has taken over the business, and now is running that. We used to organize big education conferences and festivals all around the world. So that's kind of like always one way or another worked for myself or ourselves. Apart from the little stint at the university, and so yeah, starting Uni was really kind of like it was. I had for years been thinking about I'd love to make something physical rather than service business. Make a product, and I've always been a bit of a keen interest in design and engineering, and that all kind of came together in that. And I've always been very interested in a lot of different things and kind of connecting those different things. And I think that's where Uni then kind of struck a chord with me back in 2011-12 when I started working on it originally. So yeah.
You have been to Naples as well. We've had a question about pizzerias to add to the bucket list in Naples. Where did you go?
Oh, top of my head, I can't remember. Sorbillo, is it Sorbillo? Yeah.
Yes, below. Yeah.
Sorbillo is probably an obvious one then the only name I can top of my head I can remember. But Kirsty, you lived there for 18 months. Let's hear you've got better recommendations, I'm sure.
It's a really tricky one because so up until this lockdown, I worked out between living in Naples for 18 months and then working at uni. I'd had a full, I think, a full 2 years where I had pizza every single week. I didn't go a single week without pizza for 2 weeks, which is a long time.
Yes.
So we ate lots of places in D'Atilio, which is in Pigna Seca, is like brilliant, and they make this really unique pizza whereby they kind of crimp the edges, and so it's like a star shaped, and the crusts are filled with ricotta, so it's kind of a posh stuffed crust, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Really good. Another place which I absolutely love is Concertina Tresante, which is up in Rione Sanita, which is traditionally a bit of a kind of a dodgy area of Naples, but it's got a lot of heart, and the pizzas there are
so
phenomenal.
dodgy. Sorry, in Naples context, it's a dodgy area. So
I actually find Naples fine. I know that quite a few people who visit for kind of weekends and stuff, they find it a little bit full on, and it definitely is a complete kind of culture shock in that it's chaotic, colourful, and super vibrant. But kind of other pizzerias that I would fully recommend are La Notizia, which is run by Enzo Coccia, and Cinquanta Calò, another super famous one, and obviously the OG Da Michele, which was about 5 minutes walk from my apartment. So
All right.
Yeah, and they're actually opening up again tonight after the lockdown. So
Oh, very cool.
yeah, so a bit of a celebration there for them.
Big celebrations. I've got a picture. I'm gonna switch this camera around. See, does that look familiar?
Yeah, that looks like the Datilio. Yep.
Yeah. So remember, I can one photo from the trip about a year and a half ago. Yeah, no, it's gonna be. We've been speaking with a lot of pizzeria owners, and a lot of them have found ways of making this work for themselves. I was speaking with Michele, who runs 3 places for Siverinos in Edinburgh here locally, and what they've been able to do. And they seem to be. I mean, many of their staff is furloughed at the moment, but they're still making it work, and they're trying to keep the ship going as fast as possible, and trying to see what the near future will look like as they come out of it. But they've been doing these make your own pizza kind of kits that have been really popular. So if you happen to be in Edinburgh area, check out Siverinos. They do. So basically, it's a box with dough and sauce and everything you need for making your own pizzas at home. So check it out.
And they're also launching their famous Nutella calzone to make at home as well in a box.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's only 100 of them, so you've got to be quick.
Gotta be quick. Yeah, definitely
Wonderful.
go for it.
Well, Kristian, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'll let you go and eat pizza and drink beer or wine or whatever you choose. Yeah.
Hey, thank you very much, Kirsty, and thank you everybody who tuned in. This was great fun. We'll do this again. We'll leave us comments. What would you like us to cook? I'm happy to do this. This is great fun taking questions and doing this. So yeah, I'm cooking pizza anyhow, so might as well chat with somebody while doing it. So keep up the great work, and thank you for being there.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, happy Uni, everyone, and make sure you, as Kristian said, keep sharing your pictures, because we love to see what pizzas you're making, and particularly from Uni Day as well. That was kind of a phenomenal turnout. Lots and lots of people making beautiful pizzas for their neighbours.
Do we have a count for that? But we must have had thousands and thousands of pizzas made around the world on Uni Day.
I'm pretty sure our GoFundMe is sitting at around $5,500 at the
nice
moment, which is pretty
incredible.
Good.
That's very, very good. Great effort. Excellent. Well, hey, thank you. And Kirsty, I'll speak with you soon, and community there. See you soon. Bye-bye.